Well, just how effective can this ECOWAS delegation be in solving Cote d'Ivoire's political dispute? Let's talk about that with Abu Bakarr. He's an associate professor of sociology at the Northern Illinois University. He's also editor-in-chief of the African Conflict and Peacebuilding Review. He joins us from Chicago. So we have this quite sort of nice Hollywood narrative, this neat narrative. The delegation went in and said, step down or else. Do you think that really is how it went, or might it have been a bit more complex?
Well, I think it's much more complex since, of course, I mean, this is a problem that they have been working on for some time. So I think for now, I mean, I think we just have to wait and see as details comes out. But my assumption would be that it will involve a series of processes wherein they may most likely even take up force. I mean, if Gbagbo seems to do as he is for the moment. So I guess we'll have to wait and see a little bit.
What's odd about that, though, is, I mean, when Laurent Gbagbo gave an interview to Al Jazeera, he said, look, let's set up a monitoring committee as to the results of the election. We'll get the African Union, ECOWAS, the European Union, the US, Russia, China, the Arab League, all involved. Just look again at these results to find out who won. If that can avoid civil war and conflict and regional war, isn't that worth a try?
Well, I'm sure it is, but again, one has to put everything in context. The conflict crisis has been going on for a long time now. Again, you can go back to even the shortly after the death of Foy. So I think there is going to be some kind of limit to how far you can. I mean, there is no guarantee that if you do a recount, it will be accepted. So.
Right, but he seems to be suggesting he would accept the results, and either side should.
Sorry, say that again?
He seems to be suggesting he would accept the results, though.
Well, again, I think one has to be careful because, I mean, there has been a lot of promises in the past, and the track record has been that most of those promises haven't really been kept. If that is the only thing, yeah, sure, it is worth one more chance. But I think at some point, I mean, there has to be a line drawn, between, if you wish, those who are perceived to be impediment to peace and those who are reasonably assumed to be willing to work within the processes. So I think at this point, I mean, the safest thing to, the most important point is that if the elections has been certified, then possibly is to try to convince him to actually, respect the voice of the people.
Whoever is the rightful winner, though, is this really just a simple matter of two men fighting over power? This is, after all, Africa. We have the US and the French supporting, and a former IMF managing director. Ivory Coast has just discovered oil. It's a great cocoa producer. Laurent Gbagbo isn't terribly popular in the region anyway. I mean, should alarm bells be ringing somewhere? Is it all too simple just to have the current narrative that we're using for Ivory Coast?
Well, you're right. I mean, this is not a simple math because I mean, you can all the country is divided and elections are contested, and to all processes, I will assume that there are flaws here and there. But again, I think the question is whether the elections meet the minimum thresholds for what one will assume to be a reasonably free and fair election given the context. So I think that is really what has to be looked at here. And if based on previous arrangements, the UN has been asked to certify the election, and they have done so, I think I wouldn't have any much concerns to actually, if we wish, reject what the UN has certified at this point. So I do understand that. I mean, I guess elections are hardly perfect, but the wider goal here is to have a process that can lead to some kind of peace. And if this election has been long awaited, then I think somehow, I mean, this result here should be the basis for moving forward.
Abu Bakarr, thank you very much. Police in the Nigerian city of Jos have raised the death toll after a series of bombs shook that city on Friday. They now say at least 80 people have died. Christian and Muslim groups have been involved in street fighting since the bombings. Now an Islamist group has claimed responsibility for the original attacks. Chris Wade reports.
The bloody aftermath of a series of bombings targeting Christians in central Nigeria on Christmas Eve. Dozens were killed and many more injured by the explosions in Jos, where Muslim and Christian communities meet, the scene of numerous deadly clashes in recent years. Now, a website claiming to speak for a relatively unknown Islamist sect said it was behind the blasts. An online statement explained the attacks were designed to avenge the atrocities committed against Muslims in that area and the country in general, and added, "We will continue with our attacks on disbelievers and their allies and all those who help them." Police have dismissed the claim, but a man described on the site as the group's leader, Abu Bakarr bin Mohammed Shekau, is believed to be the current head of Boko Haram, the anti-Western sect which launched an uprising against the Nigerian government in the northern city of Bauchi last year. Most of its members were thought to have been arrested or killed in gun battles with the security forces. Nigerian officials have revised the death toll from the Jos bombings up to at least 80. And with reports of continued fighting in the area, there looks to be little chance of peace in parts of central Nigeria this new year. Chris Wade, Al Jazeera.
Russia has told the West to mind its own business after the White House and foreign ministries across Europe condemned the conviction of a former oil tycoon. Mikhail Khodorkovsky is awaiting sentencing for embezzlement. Critics of the Kremlin say his main crime was to oppose the government. Sonia Gallego reports.
Back in court, back at the center of a continuing international row, the former Yukos oil company boss Mikhail Khodorkovsky has been found guilty